welcome back to my channel. You may call me Miss Introvert, and today we're going to be talking about first, second, and third person. I'm sure as writers, and even maybe as introverts, you all probably know all about this concept and that there are plenty of other ways to write, but point of view is a very important part of writing, so it's always good to review, and I'm here to help you with that today. So one of the most significant parts of telling a story is making sure that you know who the story is being told by and how it is being told. It can be an author, it can be one or more characters, or it could even be a mysterious force. There are three main methods to divide the ways a story can be preceded with a voice, which I'm sure you already know them. First, second, and third person forms are the most widely used by most authors. It might not seem like a big deal, but there is a lot that goes into these voices. These voices who are telling the story are called points of view. Possibilities are endless, but there are certain ways that these voices can be handled. Before we begin, like this video if you're a writer or an introvert, and subscribe to my videos that I upload every Tuesday. They're mostly about introverts and writing. Also, comment down below which point of view you prefer to use. And without further ado, let's begin. The first point of view is first person. Fitting, I know. This voice uses words like I did this or I said that. With this method, one of the characters acts as the narrator of the story. You, the author, has to tap into the mind of this character. If you want to write about something that happened to you, you have to remember the event that you're going to write about and mold yourself into that character, which makes you your own character. It's kind of cool, especially in creative nonfiction. But there is more than just one way to write in first person. You can tell the story in the words of just one character. This point of view illustrates the quirks, the speech styles, the opinions, and it's all done on the way to the end of the story as the plot unfolds. First person can also focus on multiple characters. These characters need to take turns telling the story, and they're usually separated by gaps or chapters. It is a bit more complicated than writing about one person, but the result is very entertaining. Each character that tells the story has different opinions and different development than the others. The author has to feel what the character is feeling in order for the narration to sound legitimate. However, if first person doesn't work for a certain author, there are two other points of view to test out. The second type of point of view is second person, also fitting. Second person still has a narrator, but this time, the narrator is speaking to the audience, kind of like a conversation. The author writes things like, you did this, or you said that, in order to talk directly to the reader. These stories can be fun to write, but they can also be a bit unclear if they're not written well enough. It is very rare to see this kind of point of view in a novel, but it definitely makes it more intriguing. Second person is like writing a letter to someone, but in the form of a story. The person they're writing about might be someone else, but the author can make them believe that they're the protagonist by putting them in the situation of the main character. It's kind of Inception-y, huh? If the author adds enough specific details and imagery, the reader will be able to believe the illusion of reality. But there's still one more way a story can be told, and that is third person, which is our third criteria, which is still fitting. It's still a bit like the other 2 points regarding narration, but instead uses terms like he, she, or it said or did, rather than you or I. Third person can have a much larger scale, like way more than the other 2 points of view. The author can stay in the mind of one character, or they can travel between 2 or more characters' minds, or if they're willing to accept the challenge, they can work as an omniscient narrator who's surveying the story from the clouds. These are metaphoric clouds. You're not actually going to be able to fly through the clouds and tell a story. That would be so cool though. Is that every writer's dream? Am I not the only one? I do like the omniscient one. It is challenging, it is so challenging, but it's also very rewarding. This allows the reader to explore the both heroic and villainous sides of the story thoroughly. Third person can go on an even bigger scale if the author wishes, and use an objective style instead. This way, the author can tell the reader everything they need to know about the story, but never tap into the minds of the characters. Third person can be seen as one of the more challenging ways to write a story, and also one of the more challenging ways to read a story. However, this point of view doesn't have to be complicated, and neither do the other two styles. These methods are supposed to be used to the advantage of the writer. Anything goes, as long as the author is happy with it. Any of these points of view are very useful and very fun to write with. They can be experimented with and have different uses for different stories. If the author wants personality, they should go for first person. If they want a more intriguing style, they should go for second person. And if the author wants to expand the horizons of the plot and characters, they should ride the waves of third person. And those are the 3 points of view that you can use to write your stories. This is just my take on the subject. There are plenty of other ways to look at this concept, and you can modify my advice however you'd like. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and give it a like if you were able to find the inspiration to write your story in whatever point of view you thought was most exciting. Well, that's all for now, folks. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, check out my blog, and find the writing help you need on my Fiverr account. All the links will be in the description below. And stay basic. Okay, bye!